Welcome back to Lansdowne Road. It's Leeds against Lazio, and to describe tonight's action, our match commentators Nigel Spackman. But first, Gary Bloom.
Thanks, Steve. Good evening, everyone. Let's check on the two teams, starting with Leeds, who field 4 players who went to the World Cup: Nigel Martin, Gunnar Haller, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank and Lucas Radebe. Of those, only Radebe was ever present for his country, South Africa. Indeed, he captained the team. Leeds have one new signing on view tonight, Danny Granville, who's come from Chelsea for 1.6 million. Surprisingly, only 2 of the Lazio team finished or featured in the World Cup finals. Both Sinisa Mihajlovic and Dejan Stankovic played with some distinction for Yugoslavia. Sadly, their major import of the summer, Chilean international Marcelo Salas, is missing for Lazio. He only arrived from his club River Plate in Argentina in the last few days. But there's major interest in another newcomer, Ivan de la Peña, who's joined from Barcelona. He's Lazio's playmaker for the new campaign. It'll be Leeds United to get this pre-season friendly match underway. There's Danny Granville, who's signed from Chelsea. One of the 2 players Leeds have signed in the summer months. The other one, Clyde Weinhardt, is back in West Yorkshire nursing an injury. Our referee tonight is Jerry Perry, a Dublin psychiatrist. Cynics say he'll have to be. League of Ireland referee, and it's Leeds playing from right to left in this first half, and I'm delighted to say that Nigel Spackman sits alongside me.
Yeah, it's nice to see you, Gary. This is an interesting game, this, Lazio against Leeds. Leeds had a good season last year. Lazio had a tremendous season as well. And it's very cold tonight, as I'm cold up here and you are, but the players before the kick-off were running around trying to keep warm.
Here's Sinisa Mihajlovic picking out Giovanni Lopez. I think the first thing to state is that Leeds are a good deal closer to the start of their domestic season than Lazio. The Italian season only begins midway through September, and indeed the new Italian fixture list was only announced at tea time today. Lazio start with an away game at Piacenza on the 13th of September. This is Gary Kelly for Leeds United. For here is Mihajlovic. Hart now driving forward, looking for Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Hasselbank trying to find an opening, couldn't do so. It's got out of harm's way by Roberto Rambaldi, and a corner kick to Leeds United. Molinar sees a ball fall over his head. This is Hopkin now for Leeds United, who has been impressive in some of the pre-season friendlies, and that's a good stop by Marcagiani, the Lazio goalkeeper.
Yes, a nice early take for the goalkeeper, nice and confident. And as you said, David Hopkins got a lot to prove. He started off the season as captain of Leeds and then drifted in and out of the team through injury. So it's a big pre-season for him, and hopefully a season ahead.
Indeed, there's been a change of referee tonight, and it's Dick O'Hanlon in charge. There he is. Rambaldi running into a thicket of Leeds players. Mihajlovic, who played superbly for Yugoslavia at the World Cup, trying to pick out Roberto Mancini. Cut out by Hart. Here's Granville. Looking for Boya. Negro got caught there, but he was fouled. I think there's genuine disappointment in Dublin that Marcelo Salas hasn't come with his new Lazio teammates. But I was reading in the Italian press over the last few days, Marcelo Salas hadn't received international clearance to actually play for his new club, and maybe that just tipped the balance in terms of his coach, Sven-Goran Eriksson, leaving him behind. Mancini. De la Peña, player nicknamed the Little Buddha. He wouldn't get away with that nickname in England, I'll tell you. Lopez helping it back to Marcagiani.
It's a shame Alan Boksic isn't playing as well. I mean, he's a wonderful striker who missed the World Cup through injury, and it'd have been nice to have seen him out here with Salas tonight. So Lazio got plenty of options for the new season ahead.
In fact, the man on the ball now, Mancini, isn't sure of a regular first-team place at Lazio because of the possible combination of Salas and Boksic. Boksic has featured in a couple of pre-season games already for Lazio. He had an operation on a knee whilst the World Cup was in progress, and he has complained of a bit of pain in that knee in the last few days. De La Peña helping it back to Negro. Here's De La Peña again, tackled by Ribeiro. Rambaldi now for Lazio, the right winger, forward towards Januzzi. Didn't really get hold of the ball.
No, it was a good chance for him. It was a lovely ball over the top, and if he'd better control, he'd have scored there.
Hart, forward towards Gunnar Haller. As far as Mihailovic now for Lazio. 5 here is for Varley. No foul. Haller. That is a foul. My goodness, Norway dished out 1 or 2 of those in the World Cup, didn't they?
They certainly did, the physical side, but they got knocked out in the end, didn't they? But they didn't perform as well as they thought they might do in the World Cup.
Gunnar Haller only played 7 minutes for Norway in the World Cup finals. That was against Scotland. This is Ribeiro's free kick. Molinar got his head to the ball, and it's taken by Marcagiani. Robert Molinar, Leeds central defender. A bit of a story about those Ribeiro free kicks. Leeds have just come back from a pre-season tour of Sweden, and Ribeiro in one match provided 4 goals for Ian Hart, Leeds United's left back, in an incredible game which Leeds won by 5 goals to 1. George Graham was joking he'd found a new goal-scoring left back. Pavel Nedved. This is Mihailovic. 2 here is Negro. Rambaldi. Stankovic had made a run ahead of him, but he was just unable to pick him out. About 3,000 Leeds fans have made the trip over to Dublin. Apparently business was brisk with the official supporters club over the last week to 10 days, with fans combining a bit of a summer holiday and a chance to see their team. Here's Mihailovic, who had a chance to see the goal there. Here's Ivan De La Peña, and De La Peña was fouled by Ribeiro. De La Peña here is a very close friend of Ronaldo. The two played together at Barcelona the season before last, and indeed Ronaldo was trying to persuade De La Peña to join Inter when De La Peña decided to play in Serie A this season.
Yeah, I think he was a bit of a favourite with the fans at Barcelona as well, and I think he's left on a free transfer, hasn't he? Under the Bosman ruling.
De La Peña playing his first competitive game for Lazio tonight. Nigel Martin waits expectantly on his goal line. Now Mihailovic is a really good free kick taker, so too is Nedved. The pair are standing over the ball. It's Mihailovic, and it's wide.
Not too far away though, but he's very dangerous at set plays. I think originally a midfield player who's gone to the back. Yeah, just got underneath her a little bit, no problem for Nigel Martin.
If my memory serves me right, he scored at the World Cup finals for Yugoslavia with a free kick, which might have even taken a deflection. This is Robert Molinar. Ian Hart, no stranger to the Emerald Isle. Republic of Ireland international. Indeed, he played here against Belgium in the World Cup playoff, a match we saw live on Channel 5. Here's De La Peña. Januzzi appeared to be offside. Molinar was certainly appealing that way. Boya grasped the ball, and indeed the referee's given handball against the Leeds player.
I think he was looking for the free kick himself, I think, and dived on it, scrum down.
There's been a few here down the years, hasn't there? A few scrum downs at Lansdowne Road. This is Giovanni Lopez. Can play at left back. Here's Mihailovic. Januzzi. I don't think we'll see many first-team outings once the Serie A season gets underway and Boksic and Salas are back in harness. That was a good strike on goal by Pavel Nedved, Czech Republic international.
It looked like it got a slight deflection there as well. That could have been a corner. But that could have bent in over the top of Nigel Martyn there.
Yeah, it was a good strike here by Nedved, and you're absolutely right, Nigel. It did take a deflection, which you spotted. The referee didn't. Rambaudi got the final touch to throw in now to Leeds, who finished 5th last season, ensuring qualification for this season's UEFA Cup. Leeds will have to wait till the end of August to find out who they'll play in their opening game.
Yes, I've watched Leeds a few times last season, and I think they work very hard for each other. Very well organised under George Graham and David O'Leary, and Leeds are back in Europe, which is great for the supporters.
And of course George Graham is a master tactician. He'd love the opportunity of steering Leeds through a European campaign. Just trying to relive some of those terrific moments he enjoyed whilst he was at Arsenal in European competition. Nedved trying to pick out Januzzi, who just seems a pace behind the game. Molinar took the ball off him with terrific ease. And Leeds are giving away another free kick. Nedved looking at trying to pick out Rambaudi. Stankovic, another of the newcomers to the Lazio club, is joined from Red Star Belgrade. Here's Leeds' new boy, Danny Granberg. Ala. Mihailovic. Negro. And Mancini's just offside.
Good movement from Mancini then, looking at the player on the ball and then coming short and then spinning over the top. What a wonderful player he's been over the years for Sampdoria and now Lazio.
Indeed, has scored more goals than any player currently still operating in Italy's Serie A. But again, that won't be a position he'll occupy in the coming months. He'll play behind Boksic and Salas. But terrific versatility of Roberto Mancini, terrific servant to Italian football. Stankovic. Molinar. Kelly. Molinar. Oh, yeah. Actually, Lazio, to me, look remarkably fit, bearing in mind this is only their 4th game back since they began pre-season training a couple of weeks ago. It really is a terrific testament to their coach, Sven-Göran Eriksson. There he is, just to the right of your picture, who led Benfica to victory 7 years ago against George Graham's Arsenal in round 2 of the Champions Cup. And George was telling me today he'd love to put one over on his old adversary.
I think Blackburn tried to get him as their manager as well before Roy Hodgson, didn't they? So he's always worked at the highest level in, in Italy and in obviously Benfica, who are one of the big clubs in Europe. But he did very, very well at Lazio.
Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank was having his jersey tugged there by Lopez, still released Boya. And ardent Leeds United fans will have noticed by now, Leeds only have one recognised striker, and he has the ball now. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Turning into ever-decreasing circles, and there's a rather unusual role tonight for David Hopkin of Leeds United, playing alongside Hasselbank in the Leeds attack. Leeds do have Derek Lilly with them here in Dublin, but also a youngster called Lee Matthews, who we might see later on tonight. But their recent acquisition from Willem II, the Dutch First Division club, Clyde Feinhardt, isn't fit enough to make the trip. And George Graham was saying he'll be busy this weekend trying to draw level with the sort of fitness of his teammates. Favali picks out Nedved. Cleverly intercepted by Radaby, and this is Hopkin. Boya. De La Peña. Januzzi back to De La Peña, and Radaby helps it forward. Mihailovic. Lovely touch by Januzzi. Mancini back to Januzzi again. Away by Kelly.
Lovely bit of play there from Lazio. Good movement, good balls played in, and just didn't quite come off with the final ball.
Held up. Kelly now for Leeds United. Again, a stranger to Dublin, started his professional career with Leeds after joining from home farm of Dublin. Tipped as a future captain of the Republic of Ireland, Gary Kelly, who has possession now, and that's a disappointing ball. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, who only returned from his summer break in the last few days, and I was told by the Leeds manager this afternoon he'd only play 45 minutes because Leeds didn't want to risk any strains and bumps Hasselbank might pick up over 90 minutes. Here's De La Peña. That's a lovely turn. Luckily for Leeds, the ball ricocheted off the shins of Molinar, but De La Peña slowly is feeling his way into this football match.
Yes, dangerous player, getting forward, having a shot there. Normally he's a holding player, but breaking forward and joining in there. I think Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank had a great season for Leeds, and obviously that showed with him getting picked for the Dutch squad for the World Cup, where obviously a few months before the end of the season he wouldn't have even dreamt of going there.
Still said he found it frustrating being on the substitutes bench when Holland were playing. Mind you, I think he'd have to watch his P's and Q's if he's second string to Dennis Bergkamp and Patrick Kluivert.
Well, I was lucky enough to be obviously in Paris watching all the games during the World Cup, and I saw Jimmy Floyd's first game for Holland against Belgium, where he missed a good chance from about 5-10 yards and put it over. If he'd scored there, he could have been a hero for Holland and beaten Belgium, but unfortunately it ended up being 0-0 and being a frustrating match for him.
Molinar trying to pick out Granville, but the accuracy of the pass wasn't good enough to unsettle Lazio. He got into a familiar rhythm very quickly indeed. Their only preparation for this tournament was a 5-0 win over a third division Italian side, Fassa. They drew 0-0 with Monza. That was over 45 minutes, and then drew with Panathinaikos in a 3-team tournament, again over 45 minutes. And then they've left their training camp behind and came out to Dublin. They look very sharp indeed, and here they come again with Favali, their left back. Januzzi calling for it, away by Lucas Radaby.
There's good defending from Radaby there, covering across. Haller got caught too far forward, and I think who was it on there?
Favali
made a good run inside. He could have gone on his shot himself, I think. Would have been the better option.
Corner kick to Lazio, but maybe they will rue that missed opportunity, because Favali had a free run at the Leeds goal. Mihailovic with a corner. Away by Hart with a very positive header. De La Peña. That's Nedved foul by Hopkin. And in normal circumstances, I think that would be a yellow card.
Yes, I think the stud's showing. I think David Hopkin caught him a little bit late there. Would have been booked for that in the Premier League.
Just to clear up any uncertainties about disciplinary matters tonight, any red or yellow cards would count towards the Premier League season. So if a Leeds player was sent off tonight, he could miss 1, 2 or 3 games depending on the severity of the offence. Mihailovic with a free kick. It's a super free kick, and it's just whizzed wide of Nigel Martin's goal. He's just finding the range at the moment, Mihailovic, and that is exactly why Lazio have bought this player.
Yes, he's a good player. As I said, started off as a midfield player. Very dangerous at set plays like that, as he's shown for Yugoslavia as well. But he's fitted in straight away in the Lazio side at the back. Just not enough curl on it really there. But he'll find his range, I think, as you said, Gary.
That one touched on by Mancini, trying to find Januzzi. But Lucas Radaby, the South African captain, got in the way. Haller. Determined challenge with Favali, who's newly appointed Lazio captain. There were murmurings that the player here, Roberto Mancini, might take the captain's armband. He has to make do with a wrist strap tonight. Not quite the same, is it? Mancini, Nedved, Favali. Mancini again. Iannuzzi is offside. Alessandro Iannuzzi, who was on loan at Lecce last season. This is where Iannuzzi was offside, Nigel.
Well, I think he could have been played onside there, but it looks on the camera anyway. It looks like he could have been onside, and it was a good timed run.
Granbaudi just lost the plot slightly, and it's a throw into Leeds, which Granville will take. Hasselbank, who does look a little bit ring rusty, to be honest, has hardly regained the sort of sharpness which catapulted him into the Dutch World Cup squad.
Yes, but I think it's been a long old season for Jimmy Floyd, and he'll need a few more weeks to get back to his full sharpness.
Free kick to Leeds, which the Portuguese player Ribeiro will take. And that really is a gift for Marcagiani. In fact, he didn't even have to trouble himself with holding the ball. Bruno Ribeiro, one of the surprise successes for George Graham's side last season. George Graham was actually on a scouting mission to sign Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank when he noticed Ribeiro playing in a Portuguese league game. He was so impressed he signed Ribeiro. And George Graham last season picked out Ribeiro as his outstanding midfield player. Gunnar Haller. I think it's worth reminding viewers of the players missing for Lazio tonight. They really have had a spending binge over the summer months. They saw the back of Kaziragi and Fuzer and Chamot and Jugovic, and my goodness, did they get the checkbook out and did the lira flow. Marcelo Salas cost £15 million. Here's Lee Bowyer, once the most expensive teenager in English football, and Leeds have a free kick.
I think Lazio ended up signing 12 players this pre-season. Is that right, Gary?
That's right. Fernando Couto, the Portuguese international, came with Ivan de la Peña. Haven't seen him yet. Of course, Salas we haven't seen. Igor Proti signed from Napoli. It's like another team waiting out there. Here's Ribeiro with a free kick. Rather cheeky free kick, which Marcagiani somehow sussed out with some ease.
Yeah, I think he was trying to catch the goalkeeper out there. The last free kick he put in, he put it wide to the keeper's left, and this time he just tried to bend it into his near post to catch him out.
Paolo Negro. Granbaudi to his right. This is Roberto Mancini looking for Iannuzzi. I thought he was being slightly impeded there by Robert Molinar.
I think Molinar's a very large player, very big, tall player, and I don't think the little lad up front Inzaghi is going to get much change out of him.
Lee Bowyer drifts one to the back post. I think Lazio wish it was Inzaghi. It's in fact Iannuzzi.
Iannuzzi, sorry.
Inzaghi, one of the leading lights of Serie A now with Juventus.
Yes, and performed in the World Cup as well.
Terrific play. Here's Gary Kelly. Molinar. Favali. Free kick to Leeds. Favali with the illegal use of the elbow. David Hopkin, who must find himself wondering where he has to play tonight. More used to a central midfield role. Has to play up front.
When he came to Chelsea from Morton when I was there, he actually came as a right winger, and then obviously went on to Crystal Palace, where they made him into a central midfield player, where he did extremely well for them. But finding it hard to hold down the place at Leeds at the moment.
Kelly with a free kick up towards Molinar. Two Leeds players went for the same ball. Robert Molinar holds his head after receiving a fearful whack in the face, but he actually collided with his own player, Gunnar Haller, here. Oh, goodness me, I'd hate to have been Haller there.
Keep out the way of Molinar's attacking the ball.
Goodness me, he took man and ball, didn't he? This is Sinisa Mihajlovic, the Yugoslav international, picking out Rambaudi. In fact, Ian Hart claimed he got no touch on the ball, and the referee agrees with him, and it's a goal kick to Leeds United. Still scoreless then after 24 minutes. Not the goal fest we saw in the first half of the Liverpool-St Pat's game, when 5 goals went in. Having said that, Lazio had one of the best defences in Serie A last season, letting in only 30 goals. And only the top 2 teams, Juventus and Inter, had a better record defensively. So Leeds know they're going to have to work hard to prise open this Lazio defence. Hart. Haller. Kelly. Hopkin. George Graham, Leeds United's manager. He has an outstanding crop of youngsters at the club, and I think he feels that if the Leeds fans can be just a bit patient, in the next couple of years he could have a side that might be able to win something. He inherited a very good youth setup from Howard Wilkinson when he arrived at the club, and that hard work is bearing fruit now, with youngsters like Lee Matthews, Matthew Jones and Harry Kewell all coming through, and Alan Maybury. And Ian Hart as well. Hasselbank now. Ribeiro. Radaby. Kelly now. Gunnar Haller. It wasn't a great ball by Kelly, and it's easily cut out by Favali. And it's a throw into Leeds.
As you say, they have got a good crop of youngsters coming through, but they've also got some good experienced players, and I think the Leeds fans will be pleased that Leeds are in Europe this year. Gives them something more to cheer about. And I think George Graham was just on the bench there, really saying to the younger players on the bench, look, this is what they should be doing in that situation, just trying to encourage them and, you know, educate them really.
Alf-Inge Haaland at the centre of the trio of substitutes warming up for Leeds United. Januzzi. Favali now for Lazio. This is Mihajlovic. That's a terrific ball in towards Mancini. Suspicion of handball, and it was handball.
It was handball, but what a lovely ball from Mihajlovic there, and a good run from Mancini. A good covering round from Ian Hart there. Did his job very, very well, looking across the line.
Well, it was quite clearly handball. I'm not sure whether Mancini is quite sure about his anatomy, if he thought that hit his chest. Seemed to pull that down with his hand. Here's Mancini again. Now that wasn't handball. Rambaudi helps it forward. This is Januzzi. Hart now for Leeds. Now he's scored a few goals on the pre-season tour of Sweden. I think it's all gone to his head a little bit.
I think he meant to cross that there in for Hasselbank, but just sliced it a little bit over the top. Maybe he'd say that was a shot.
I wonder if he's benefited, Nigel, from his exposure to playing international football, and George Graham can now rely on a very, very accomplished defender.
Yes, I think playing international football and playing European club football is a great experience for players, and it brings out the best of them because they are playing against the best players in the world. And I'm sure playing for the Republic of Ireland along with Gary Kelly has been a great experience for Ian Hart.
Mihajlovic. Evander La Pena. He was quoted in the Italian press saying he wanted to take certainly this first game very, very calmly indeed. Didn't want to overexert himself. He has been suffering from a knee injury. De La Peña just getting the final touch on that ball. But if De La Peña plays to his full potential, he will be a real star in Serie A next season.
He certainly will be. He was a big star in Spain with Barcelona, so I can't see any reason why he won't be a big star in Italy as well.
Granville. Ribeiro just intercepted by Mancini. Hasselbank, Hopkin is offside. David Hopkin of Leeds United, who was disappointed to be left out of the Scottish squad, which was announced to go to the World Cup finals. His inability to find a regular place in Leeds United's first team really was his undoing. He picked up an eye injury playing for Leeds reserves towards the back end of last season and never really got in the reckoning again. That's a lovely flick by Mancini. Rambaudi. Hala. Oh, that's a poor pass to try pick out Hasselbank. Nedved. Favali. For here is Mihailovic. Sven-Goran Eriksson just to the right of your picture has signed a couple of ex-Sampdoria players since he came from Lazio. Mihailovic has joined the club, Mancini too.
I think he's looking a bit cold there, Gary, don't you think? Sat back there with his collars up.
I'm glad I brought my coat with me, I'll tell you.
Are you trying to say I didn't?
Draw your own conclusions. Granville. This is Paolo Negro. Now in his 6th season with the club. Former Brescia player. Stankovic is number 6, player who has a very promising future after joining Lazio from Red Star Belgrade. Here he is again, Stankovic. Mancini. And he really is the heartbeat of this Lazio team, Roberto Mancini. Rambaudi.
I think the thing is with Mancini, he plays up front but comes off the feet very well and finds space for players to play off him, and he likes little flicks, bringing other players into the game, but he can also get forward and score goals himself.
There he is, terrific player, terrific range to his game as well. He's played as an out-and-out striker, he's played as a playmaker, and that's the role that Lazio see for him now in the future.
There was a lot of talk a couple of years ago that he might be coming over to join Arsenal or Chelsea. It never arose, and he's obviously played all the time in Italy, but what a good player he's been. Still is.
Oh, Hopkins wanted it. Hasselbank wants it. Favali gets it away. De La Peña unable to get to the ball. Ranovi does. Away by Stankovic. Kelly now for Leeds United. Calling for the ball on the edge of the penalty area. Hasselbank. Mancini, which is Pavel Nedved, made his name in the Czech Republic team, which did so well at Euro 96. Here he is again. Nedved. Danny Granville. Let's not forget Leeds have 2 outstanding players that they've left behind in West Yorkshire nursing injuries. Harry Kewell, the Australian international, and also Lee Sharp. It's a big season for Lee Sharp. He missed the whole of the last campaign with injury. And there has been doubts about his mental toughness, let's put it that way, in his approach to the game. He has a lot to prove in the next 9 months. Rambaudi. This is Negro. Away by Molinar and away by Ranovi. Stankovic. De La Peña, Lazio knocking at the Leeds door here. Mancini!
Yes, Molinar covered round well there in the first instance, and it broke to La Peña, and he put in Mancini there, who just put it wide.
Wasn't that far away. Actually, Nigel Martyn made a terrific leap there to cover the far post. And here's Haller now for Leeds. They're just beginning to be swamped by this Lazio midfield, orchestrated by Roberto Mancini.
It's a good contest, really. I think Lazio knocking it about well, keeping possession well. Leeds doing the same, but when they need to be direct, they can go direct, Leeds. And this is a dangerous position now with the size of Molinar coming up and Hart and Granville in there.
Let's hope Haller gets out the way. Kelly with a free kick. Up towards Boya. Oh, Marcagiani flapped to that one. Hopkin now for Leeds. Radaby. Hasselbank calling for it. In the end, it dropped between Hasselbank and Molinar. And this is Ivan de la Peña. Molinar. That's a terrific ball into Gunnar Haller. Only Hasselbank forward, and the early ball found a depleted Lazio penalty area, marshalled by Luca Marcagiani. This is Rambaudi. Nedved. Just one or two signs that the hors d'oeuvres are over, and we're into the main course.
Yes, Lazio coming more and more into the game now, having some shots at goal, but maybe Nedved could have put Mancini in there.
This is Molinar. Mihailovic. Bavali. This is Nedved. Mancini, who just came off Radaby. Gunnar Haller. Ribeiro. Wide to Granville. Radaby. Kenny. Oh, he had the ball torn off him by Nedved. This is Mancini. This is Pavel Nedved. Lovely turn by Nedved. Mancini looks for a penalty, and it was a rather outrageous drive by Mancini, who earns the boos and the wolf whistles of the majority of this doubling crowd.
I'd like to see that again in a minute, Gary, see if it was a dive or if he got pulled back.
The goal looked inevitable then once Pavel Nedved was dancing and twisting on the edge of that Leeds box.
Yeah, I think Gary Kelly got caught in possession there trying to overplay, and Nedved's nicked it off him.
Here's Nedved again. Ran into two Leeds players. One or two Leeds players breathing rather heavily at the moment. I think they're finding the pace of the game troublesome. And really, the interesting thing for me here, Nigel, is if you were to say that one of these teams is a month and a half away from the start of their domestic season and one is 2 weeks away from the start of their domestic season, you'd have trouble sorting out which was which, wouldn't you?
You would, but I think Leeds have had a lot of travelling in Scandinavia, and they've had a lot of games, and it does take its toll in some games.
So here's this possible penalty incident. Watch out for number 10 here, Roberto Mancini. And was he impeded?
I think there might have been a little tug on the shirt there from Ribeiro, I think.
It was a bit of friendly play, that's all.
In Italy, he might have got it, eh, Gary?
I'm not sure. This is Januzzi. I think Mancini felt an arm on his shoulder and went sprawling, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's what happens in Italy. They do that all the time, and there was so much of that in the World Cup as well, as we all know. One a slight touch and they were going down. Thought they were shot. But I think the thing for Leeds is that they've got so many injuries that maybe they haven't got many options, and players will get tired because they haven't played so many games.
Granville.
Could Mike Pierce and Jerry Trainee under section 4?
Free kick to Leeds.
That's Mike Pierce and Jerry Trainee.
Ribeiro.
Goes to gentlemen from Leeds, and they lead Terry under section 4.
Rebounds to Hart. That's a corner. Intelligently, Ribeiro's waited behind the dead ball line to ensure Leeds weren't caught offside. And we have a corner kick, a moment of anxiety here perhaps for Lazio, as Ribeiro takes the corner. Hopkin, chased by Nedved, he'll need support here. Kelly. Haller! And Stankovic helps it back to Luca Marchigiani.
It's a fine cross from David Hopkin there, and Haller should have really hit the target with his header there. He didn't really want to head it, I don't think.
Molinar's having a splendid game for Leeds tonight. I'm not sure how many pre-season matches he's played, but he really is driving Leeds forward here. Boya. In fact, it's Granville who allowed the ball to move wide. He has Hart on the overlap if he wants to use him. This is Ribeiro. Mancini. Rambaudi. Well won by Lucas Radaby. Granville, Leeds are onside here. Two to Amen. Hasselbank and Hopkin. It's forward to Hasselbank. Hopkin helps it back, and he couldn't pick out Gunnar Haller.
Oh, what a great bit of play from Radaby there. He's won the tackle, put Granville away down the left-hand side, who's put in a wonderful little cross for Hasselbank, just a side foot in, and unfortunately it's come off the post and Hopkin couldn't put it in.
Mancini now for Lazio. Tackled by Lucas Radaby. Still Leeds 0, Lazio 0. Gunnar Haller. We're inside the final 5 minutes of the first half. A first half which Lazio have bossed, to be honest, but Leeds have had the best chance, and there's another one here as Hasselbank wonders how he hasn't scored so far.
That's a good ball from Radaby. Away goes Granville, takes it in, looks up. Hasselbank makes the run near post. How unlucky. Didn't drop for a Leeds player, and then David Hopkin couldn't get it back to the player on the edge of the box.
Granville, Hopkin. I think that raid will give Leeds United some hope now of troubling Lazio in the second half perhaps. That's Hart with a cross, and that is all gift wrap for Luca Marchigiani, once the most expensive goalkeeper in the world at £6 million. Molinar. Mihailovic. Lazio have Rambaudi free on this near side. Penny was having his jersey tugged by Lee Bowyer. Can be a little bit impetuous, Lee Bowyer, but again a big season for him. Just beginning to mature into the sort of player Leeds hoped he would turn out when they signed him.
Yes, you hope that he has a good season, Lee Bowyer. He's not really established himself in the team and scored the goals like he did getting forward from midfield when he was at Charlton, but you know, he's maturing now, getting older, and hopefully a big season ahead for him.
Nedved picks out Rambaudi. Rambaudi with that driven cross, and well held by Nigel Martin. Ribeiro. Hopkin. Rambaudi. Januzzi to his left. Rambaudi tries the shot, and he wasn't too far away.
No, good effort coming inside on his left foot. Just got under it and could have troubled Nigel Martyn there.
The Lazio have played effectively. Rambaudi has driven them forward from the right-hand side of midfield, and he wasn't too far away on that occasion. And just before then, Lazio almost scored here.
Yes, he drives it in here. Maybe could have picked out Mancini, making the near post run, but decided to shoot.
Boya, Hopkin. So, can one of these two sides find a goal before we get to half-time? Ribeiro just left the ball behind. Oh, a very late challenge indeed by Hart on Ivan de la Peña, who wasn't at all impressed with the Leeds United left back there. And we have a yellow card.
Well, that's the first booking we've had in this match, or the other match there was no bookings, but there's no need for that. Hart was a little bit late there, and De La Peña did well to get out of the way and not get seriously injured there. Jimmy Floyd's having an argument there as well.
So that will count against Ian Hart for the Premier League season. The new ruling is 5 bookings and you incur a suspension. And there is the half-time whistle. Well, both teams have worked hard. Neither have had their reward. Leeds have gone closest. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank just behind Ivan de la Peña has hit the upright. And maybe Leeds should have had a goal. Maybe, in the words of the sponsors, probably they should have had a goal. Half-time score here from Lansdowne Road is Leeds United 0, Lazio 0.
When people have been drinking or abusing themselves off the field, then they shouldn't be doing it. They should be made to take it away after the game.
You say that? I mean, that seriously, things like drinking have been a problem in the past.
And food intake. You know, talking about after a game, most of these Italian sides are taken away, and they're given certain foods to put back in themselves and water, and instead of going out drinking. And I'm not. Some people can do it, some can't, and I'm saying that probably the majority can't actually accept that.
OK, well, the players are coming back out on the pitch now. It's 0-0 at half-time. Time to go back to our commentators, Nigel Spackman and Gary Bloom.
Many thanks, Steve. Leeds have 2 more friendlies left after their Dublin trip. They go to Stoke City on Tuesday, and next Sunday play in Germany at Wolfsburg. And they'll be hoping to take with them some fond memories from this trip in Dublin. We can now hear from Leeds manager George Graham, who's talking to Adam Duck.
George, bearing in mind the amount of money Lazio have spent over the summer, would you be reasonably happy with that first half from your side?
From our side, yeah, I'm very happy. I mean, we're a bit short on firepower today, so we're having to play David Hopkins behind Hasselbank. I think the boys were well organised, we're quite well disciplined, and I think we're giving a very, very good account of ourselves.
How much do you want to win this tournament?
I like to win every game of playing. Yeah, it's important. What's more important really is to bed down with team play. And this is the type of games that we'll face in Europe. We've got to be patient. We mustn't play gung-ho. We've got to attack when the opportunity's on. But great experience for us to play against world-class players. You know, and give a good account of ourselves.
Thanks, George.
Pleasure.
So George Graham has laid down the blueprint of Leeds United's tactics for the second half, and no substitutions for either team at the interval, and it'll be Lazio who will restart the game with Iannuzzi and Mancini. Nigel, do you see more of the same in the second half?
Well, I think, as the lads were saying in the studio, I think Lazio have knocked it about well. Leeds have worked hard, as they need to. It's all about getting your fitness, but I'm sure in the second half that mistakes will be made, and we'll see a couple more goals.
If there isn't, we'll have a penalty shootout after 90 minutes to decide who goes through to tomorrow's final to meet Liverpool. Molinar cuts that one out. Knocked forward by Radaby. That's Favali looking for Nedved, who trod on the ball. Nedved still. In fact, Nedved and Mancini have been the 2 outstanding midfield players for Lazio so far in this game.
Yeah, Nedved likes to come in from this left-hand side and have shots at goal, or try and put Mancini in. But he was unlucky with that shot there. He was bending away at the last minute.
Negro. The intended target was Iannuzzi. Oh yeah. Hart. This is Gary Kelly. Ribeiro now for Leeds. Stankovic did just about enough as Ribeiro was trying to release the ball. This is Mancini. Januzzi to his left. Nedved further to his left, and as Nedved moved in field, the ball was delivered to the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, just a little misunderstanding there, that's all.
Leeds begin their league campaign on August the 15th with an away game at Middlesbrough. Already is a mouth-watering prospect, and then they're at home to Blackburn before an away trip to Wimbledon. And Leeds will be looking to avoid the same start they made last season, winning just one of their opening 5 league games. But after that they pulled their socks up and spent most of the season in the top 10. Granville. Negro did well there. He's picked out Rambaudi. Good touch by Mancini. It isn't really a Lazio attack unless Mancini's touched the ball. Januzzi's calling for the ball here, but Januzzi had strayed into an offside position rather foolishly and sabotaged that Lazio raid.
Yeah, Mancini always looks to come and get the ball. He's always making himself available for the man on the ball. And, you know, for any kids watching, you know, the movement of him going long to come short to feet and just build the play off him, you know, is tremendous.
De La Peña. Januzzi trying to pick out Mancini, but Molinar intercepted. Hasselbank offside. Lazio's next friendly after this Dublin tournament was a trip to Lisbon to play Benfica. They have indicated they'll put out their full strength side for that game, Salas and all. Almeida will be back too. He's the Argentine who featured against England in that ill-fated match in Saint-Etienne. Favali, lovely cross, Mancini, or rather Januzzi, with that attempt on goal.
Yeah, it's good play again from Lazio there down the left-hand side. A good save from Nigel Martin.
Had that been Mancini, and I thought it was initially, I think that would have been a goal.
Yeah, it could well have been actually, Gary.
This is Gary Kelly for Leeds. Bowyer. Hasselbank, Hopkin. Bowyer, he's through! Oh, that's a good save by Marcagiani. Lee Bowyer going close for Leeds, and his strength there to forge a path through the Lazio defence was admirable.
Yeah, it's good play from Hopkin and Bowyer between them there. Bowyer thinks he's going to score here. I think it's Negri who comes across, and a good save from Marcagiani.
He's still an outstanding goalkeeper, Luca Marcagiani, and he might have some more work to do here. Not on that occasion, though, because Lopez got the ball to safety. This is Lucas Radaby. Hopkin. And here come Lazio on the counter thrust now. Stankovic. This is Rambaudi. Mihailovic. Gary Kelly. Hasselbank. Hasselbank with a cross and headed clear by Negro. Marcelo Salas has to wait in the stand and wait his turn to play for Lazio. £15 million worth of footballer. He's already showed what he could do when he played for Chile against England prior to the World Cup finals and scored twice. The England goalkeeper that night, Nigel Martin of Leeds United.
Yes, what a wonderful player he is, and I'm sure him and Boksic up front for Lazio, they'll be trying to beat Chelsea to that Cup Winners' Cup this year.
Kelly. Three Lazio players wait their turn. Venturin is there, so too is Gottardi. And also Rosario Aquino, a young 18-year-old striker. Rambaudi's coming off, we understand. Januzzi too. And also Stankovic are the players who are going to be sacrificed here by Sven-Goran Eriksson, the Lazio coach. Mancini looking to get on the end of this, but over wily Mancini's, Radaby is just as cute. And maybe Lazio now have a chance to make this triple substitution.
We have three substitutions right now for Lazio. Replacing number 6, Dejan Stankovic, number 7, Roberto Ramboldi.
Now the only surprise here is that Ivan de la Peña's not coming off.
Number 16, Giorgio Venturin, 17, Guerrero Gottardi, and number 18, Rosario Aquino.
So number 18 here, Aquino is on, Stankovic going off, Rambaldi coming off as well, Gottardi on. 17 there is Gottardi. Gottardi, the Swiss Division 1 player with Neuchâtel Xamax under Roy Hodgson. Now been at Lazio since 1995. I think that will just disrupt Lazio because they were looking very impressive, Nigel, up to then, weren't they?
They were. They've looked impressive the way they've knocked the ball around and the chances that they've started to try and create. But it's all about getting fitness, as I said, pre-season, and the players need to have the benefit of games.
Aquino's number 18. He's going to play up front alongside Mancini. He really is a rookie. I'm not sure he's even shaving yet. Now that's a great ball in towards Gunnar Haller. Haller with a cross. It's beyond Hopkin and slid out of harm's way for a corner kick to Leeds. The two cries of Leeds, Leeds, Leeds echo around Lansdowne Road. Gottardi was the ball who slid the ball to safety.
He did well there covering round because he hadn't had a touch of the ball. It's only just come on, but he covered round very well there. Otherwise, it could have been problems for Lazio.
It remains Leeds 0, Lazio 0. Away by Gottardi once again, only as far as Ribeiro. That's Negro who'll hoist the ball to safety. I did ask George Graham today whether he envisaged playing many youngsters over the 2 days of this tournament, and he said no. He wanted to play as strong a team as possible. Hart. Ribeiro. Granville. Nedved. Don't forget, tomorrow here on Channel 5 you can see the 3rd and 4th place playoff between St Patrick's and the losers of today's game, and of course the final between Liverpool and the winners of this match. Radaby. And immediately after our football tonight, you can see Stephen King's Golden Years on Channel 5, followed by Indecent Behaviour 2. I wonder if there's going to be any indecent behaviour in the next few minutes. No red cards, we hope, anyway. Here's Favali. Mancini. Lazio wanted to take the free kick quickly.
This is a dangerous situation here with Mihajlovic coming.
Well, it really is in an ideal position here for Mihajlovic. Couldn't be better placed here for Sinisa Mihajlovic to threaten the Leeds goal and maybe give us our first goal of the game. Mihajlovic, oh dear.
High, wide and handsome, that one. He won't be happy with that.
He scored some great goals for Sampdoria in his time from that sort of range.
Nowhere near that one. But we know what a good player he is.
Molina. Boya. Oh, here's Hopkin now for Leeds. Good covering by Lopez.
Yes, Lopez did well there covering round, otherwise Hopkin was in on goal. And this will be a Gary Kelly special long throw.
It's a gift for Marcagiani. However well Lazio have played, the best two chances of the game have both fallen to Leeds United. Aquino now for Lazio though. There was two players available and maybe he showed his inexperience there by a rather weak pass, which in the end gifted Leeds possession.
Yeah, it's a good situation for Lazio there, but the youngster, I think he felt, well, I better pass it to Mancini instead of maybe going on a bit further himself and then slipping someone in. But if this is his debut, then, you know, he'll be enjoying this with the senior players.
Hopkin now for Leeds. Hasselbank to his left. Haller's joining the attack. Hasselbank on! Groan of excitement there as Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank gave the sort of excitement he brought to so many Leeds fans last season, and he drew back his foot to shoot here, and he wasn't that far away.
He wasn't far away. He's cut back in on his right foot and hit a good shot, but it's just bending away at the last minute there. He's done well, Hasselbank, really. He's worked hard up there, considering he's not really trained much.
Aquino. Just think Lazio became disjointed after making that triple substitution. Throw into Leeds.
I think Leeds have looked quite solid. I think George Graham is very pleased with them that way. They've been disciplined, worked hard, but it's just the firepower up front, really.
Throw into Leeds United, which Kelly will take. Hopkin did well there, and another good save by Marcagiani. David Hopkin looks really sharp tonight, to be honest, for Leeds.
Yeah, I think he's up for it. He wants to prove that he should be in the team. Good run across the defender. The defender waiting for it. Hopkin gets in front and gets in a good shot. Unlucky for David Hopkin.
We've reached the hour mark of the game. It's still 0-0. Corner to Leeds. Molina with a most peculiar attempt to win the ball. Lazio are going to make another substitution shortly. More on that later. Favali. Aquino looking for Pavel Nedved. Seemed to handle the ball then via Gary Kelly's boot. And in that stoppage in play, Lazio, I think, are going to make this switch now. Indeed they are. This is Dario Marcolin.
And a substitution for Lazio,
His fair share of injuries. And it's Ivan de la Peña who comes off. I think he'll be more than happy with his hour's work in the Lazio midfield for his first taste of action with his new club, and Marcolin on in his place. Maybe the state of substitutions now, 4 for Lazio, 0 for Leeds, indicates how close to the start of the new campaign Leeds are. Maybe 1 or 2 Lazio players are becoming tired now after an hour of very competitive football. This is Mihailovic. Slightly too far there for Gattadi. Strains of marching on together, the Leeds United supporters song, beginning to be heard on the terraces of Lansdowne Road. It must be terrific to see, especially for Leeds fans, to see their team rub shoulders with the likes of Lazio, who many say could well challenge Juventus and Inter for the Serie A title in the months to come. And Leeds, of course, will dip their toe in the water of European football in the months ahead when they play in the UEFA Cup. Lazio will play in the Cup Winners' Cup after winning the Coppa Italia.
Yeah, they've got a very strong squad, Lazio, and they will be a force in Italian football this year.
Well, they had a poll of coaches over the past couple of weeks of who would win the Italian Championship, and many coaches in Serie A said Lazio would do it, especially with Salas there, and Boksic and Mancini and Protti waiting in reserve. Very strong team. Mihailovic has had 3 or 4 goes at these free kicks, and to be honest hasn't really tested Nigel Martin. Let's see what he can do now. He tested Nigel Martin all right there. That ball swerved one way and it completely deceived the Leeds goalkeeper.
He actually did well, Nigel Martin, didn't he? Kicking it away, but it was a great free kick, full of power, pace.
Mihailovic picking out Giovanni Lopez. Good spell this for Lazio, headed clear by Molinar. Let's just put Lazio in perspective. For the past 6 seasons, they finished in the top 7 positions in Serie A. In fact, 7th position last season was their worst for some time. And just to rub salt into the wound, Roma finished above them.
I don't think they finished the season very well. I think they'd already qualified, hadn't they, for the European Cup Winners' Cup, and I probably threw the towel in.
Here's his free kick again. Look at the swerve there.
Yes, Nigel Martin did very well. He's going away to his left-hand side and it swerved back and he just kicked it away.
Hopkin now for Leeds. Marcacciani will get there first. I think David Hopkins had a very good game, bearing in mind he's had to play in an unaccustomed role.
Yes, he's worked extremely hard and maybe got forward and had the best chances for Leeds besides Hasselbank's chance that hit the post.
At the start of the summer there was talk about Hopkin being sold, maybe moving to Scottish football. But he's had a good pre-season, David Hopkin. He's impressed his manager. That's Ribeiro forcing the ball wide. Danny Granville now for Leeds. Almost came through to Hasselbank, who tries to keep it in play and has won a corner.
Yeah, this is a good chance for Danny Granville, actually. Hasselbank was unlucky not to get on the end of it.
Was this a shot on goal, or was it a cross?
I think it was a shot, I think. It's broken in. He could have taken it on a little bit more there. He does, and then snatches his shot across the goal.
Corner to Leeds. Still goalless. Molinari misses it. It might come through to Hopkin. Plenty of white shirts inside the box now. Well, the sort of attempt on goal maybe fans are more used to seeing when the rugby posts are up.
I think he was playing for time, Gary, so he could get back.
Well, the way it's going, we're heading towards penalty shootout to decide who'll go through to tomorrow's final. And in the last week or so, Lazio have lost 2 of those. Cavalli. Neviet. Intercepted by Lucas Radaby. Granville. Heading clear by Marcolin. Mihailovic now for Lazio. Good touch by Hasselbank. Oh, Hopkin went backwards when Hasselbank wanted the ball played forwards. That's a lovely touch there by Gottardi. Aquino. Mancini with an accusing glare, wonders why Aquino didn't release the ball. Marcolin. Five here is Favalli. That's a good ball in towards Mancini, who's offside.
It's good movement again from Mancini, though. Coming short, trying to spin in behind Molinari, but the ball wasn't delivered quick enough for him.
Well, neither team have disgraced themselves tonight. They've both looked competitive, they've both looked lively. Leeds have had some good scoring opportunities, and with a bit of good luck, might have taken the lead. Marcajani has produced a couple of fine stops, and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank has hit the upright. Mancini. Marcolin. Mihailovic. Cold night in Dublin. But Leeds United hugely popular in the Emerald Isle, as are Liverpool. They draw enormous support here. Hart. Hasselbank. Ribeiro now. Is this the opening Leeds have been looking for? No, because Marcajani was there.
If he could have just whipped that back, that cross in a bit further back, I think David Hopkin could have got on the end of that. A good movement between Hasselbank and Ribeiro.
Venturin. Good run here by Venturin. Lazio are offside. The referee declines to play the advantage.
They do that very well, Leeds. They hold the edge of the box very well, very organised. I'm sure that George Graham works them very hard in training, getting them organised there, holding the back line.
Leeds about to make a couple of changes. It looks like a couple of their young stars about to get a taste of the big time. And I would imagine the man chasing the ball here, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, will be a player to be substituted. This is his first game back after his summer break. He actually asked George Graham for an extra week off after his World Cup commitments playing for Holland. Initially George Graham refused, and then had a change of heart. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank has only just returned to Elland Road.
It's unlike George, that.
It is, isn't it?
But I'm sure he saw the sensible side of it with Holland progressing and him training every day. I'm sure he didn't really need to train when the others came back.
He said that when Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank first came to the club, he thought of himself a bit of a superstar, and one or two of the other first teamers at Elland Road just brought him down a peg or two.
He responded well though, didn't he?
He has. He's responded magnificently. Corner kick to Leeds. Here he is, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, and he's won Leeds United another corner.
It's a good chance there for Hasselbank actually at the far stick. Just didn't get his first touch right.
Apparently what George Graham used to do when training was every time Hasselbank was fouled by one of his teammates in training, he'd say play on, till Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank got the message. Aquino, that's a nice leap. Ribeiro. Hala. Disappointing cross, met by Marcagiani. Ribeiro. All apologies for that challenge, but I think it was a legal one. Certainly Venturin didn't enjoy a physical knock. And a double substitution now for Leeds United. 16 is Lee Matthews, and 14 Stephen McPhail. Stephen McPhail, a local lad.
Double substitution
From
for Leeds
this
United,
area.
replacing number 4 Bruno Ribeiro and number 10 David Hopkin, and number 14 Stephen McPhail and 16 Lee Matthews.
So Hopkin coming off. Matthews on, Lee Matthews, who's had a busy summer playing for England in the under-18 European Championships, and had scored a couple of goals against Cyprus in England's opening game. Hopkin and Ribeiro, the players who've gone off. We can see exactly how this injury occurred. Ribeiro, with his last incursion into this game, made an unfortunate incursion into the back of number 16 Venturin. Favali. Aquino. Favali ran the ball out of play. Aquino. Nedved. Hala. Yeah, I thought Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank used an elbow then, and so did the referee. Aquino. Nedved. Venturin. Two here is Negro. Good touch there by Lee Matthews. Matthews, strong running forward, going for the return ball. And Marcus there first.
Yeah, it's good covering behind his defenders there. It's Matthews again.
This is Stephen McPhail, one of the successful Republic of Ireland youth team. Just won the European Championships in Cyprus.
Stewards to end of match positions, please. Stewards to end of match positions.
Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank is injured inside the Lazio penalty area, collided with Marcagiani. This is the last thing Leeds need, an injury now. Stephen McPhail, who another of these exciting youngsters Leeds have in their ranks. Many observers of the game feel he's a little bit like Liam Brady when Liam Brady was coming into the Arsenal first team setup. Terrific left foot, set up a terrific goal for Jimmy Hasselbank last season at Derby County, and really one for the future.
He doesn't look quite as lean as what Chippy used to look, though.
I think he might have lost a contact lens, actually. I think that's what Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank is trying to intimate to the Leeds coaching staff. Kelly, Nedved. I think it was a real shove there by Bowyer. Lazio certainly haven't been as effective since they made all those switches. Haven't caused Leeds the same amount of problems. Although there's Mancini. Lazio were offside. It's a free kick to Leeds inside their own box.
Now, still good defending from Radaby there. He's had a very strong game at the back, along with Molinar. Leeds have looked very good at the back.
Alda. If George Graham had the sort of funds that he would like at his disposal, I think many Leeds fans believe he could build a side that could win the championship sooner rather than later. But he is unable to invest in large sums of money for the best talent in the world, and he has to make do with one or two bargain buys. But he's bought wisely over the last 18 months.
He has brought very wisely, and he's got the youngsters coming through, as you say. But if they get a good run in Europe, where they can get plenty of funds if they do well in the UEFA Cup, for instance, then you know, you never know who you might be able to tempt to Leeds United.
Venture in. Aquino is onside, and he scored. The youngster scores the opening goal of the game, and there was a gaping hole in that Leeds United defence, and whilst Leeds stood and watched and waited for the offside trap, young Rosario Aquino scores a goal which could take Lazio through to tomorrow's final against Liverpool.
Good touch from Mancini here, good ball from Nedved, not offside, and Aquino sticks it in on his left foot into the far corner. What a moment for the youngster. I think he was happy with that, Gary. Lovely ball through, the offside didn't work there.
Nigel Martin slightly unlucky because it just brushed his thigh and almost went wide. Nedved. Aquino wants it again. He's bursting with confidence now. Mancini flattened by Bowyer. Leeds will have to up the tempo now to find an equalising goal to bring a penalty shootout for the conclusion of this game. And here's Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Hasselbank again. Oh, he's pulled it now. Well, I'm sure every Leeds fan watching this game would have expected that ball to have ended up in the net.
Yeah, lovely ball in from Hart there. Hasselbank hit it first time, blocked by the defender. But here, you expect him to put it in, but he sliced it wide. But he must be tired, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. His first game back, not much training. And he's worked very hard tonight.
Here's the goal again. And there was really no way Leeds could have appealed for offside there, Nigel, was there?
No, I think Gary Kelly most probably played him on there. They didn't quite get the line right there. But most of the time they have tonight. A lovely little somersault. But good movement, up, back and through. Mancini laying it off lovely.
Hasselbank. Alla. Favali. Lazio are bound to be tired now. This, remember, only their fourth game since they resumed pre-season training. little bit of needle in the match now. Lee Bowyer getting involved. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, that's where he's got to grow up a little bit, Lee Bowyer. I mean, it was a foul, but he's had a few lunges as well, but he's just got to be steady. It's part of his game he needs to improve on, and he'll be a better player for it.
Hart trying to pick out Haller. Kelly now trying to impose himself on the Leeds midfield. Well, a few Lazio players are looking for Lee Bowyer. And that's why he's taking a bit of a kicking there, to be honest.
I think that's the problem, the way he plays. He's going to have that problem. That's why he's got to be very careful when it comes to playing in the UEFA Cup. He's got to be able to control himself, because players will try and wind him up and get him sent off, especially the Italians and the Spanish.
Lazio try to defend this slender lead. Well, there's a bit of pushing and shoving involving Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank here and Sinisi Mihajlovic. Kelly. And that's Marcagiani's ball by a mile. This is Pavel Nedved. Haller went sliding in. One or two of these tackles now a bit tasty by Leeds. I'm not sure Lazio relish all this physical stuff. Like that. And that should be a yellow card.
I think the thing is, Lazio are only just into their pre-season. They don't want any injuries, and that's why they're saying, look, calm down. They want the referee to be a bit stronger.
Replacing tonight's Carlsberg Trophy man of the match, number 4, Sinisa Mihajlovic.
Mihajlovic, who's coming off, has been named as the man of the match. And on in his place is number 13, Stefano Lombardi. Recent signing from Genoa. He's yet to play in Serie A. Had a good season with Genoa last year, under 21 international. That's Mancini. Molinar. Haller being pushed off the ball by Favali. Lombardi. Marculin. Aquino. He wasn't fouled by Kelly, but he hit the deck as if he had been. Granville did well to hold on to possession and release the ball as well. Molinar. Well, you tried to sell the dummy there, but the Italians weren't buying. And Leeds continue to chase the game as we head towards the final 5 minutes of the match. Lee Matthews. Matthews again. Strength took him past one defender. McPhail sweeps it wide. Granville. Marcagiani caught by Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, and the two exchange angry glares.
It was a good take from Marcagiani there, with Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank coming in, and I don't think the keeper liked the elbow or the arm across his face there, or made the most of it anyway. I think Hasselbank's going for the ball.
Mancini. Bowyer. Radaby Leeds just trying to step up the tempo of the game now, and that's not easy to do. Obviously they're getting tired in the final 5 minutes, but they're trying to pull back this 1-goal deficit. Haller unable to get on the end of that one. Sadly for George Graham, he doesn't have another recognised striker to bring into the action to try force the issue in the closing stages.
No, but I think he'll be pleased with the performance overall, really, except for maybe the power-ups up front, which he lacks a little bit.
Keeping conversation with David O'Leary. foul by Lee Matthews. And to be honest, this is what Lazio really excelled at last season, defending a slender lead.
Carlsberg Trophy Man of the Match is from Lazio. It's Anisa Mihailovic.
And confirmation that Mihailovic has won the Man of the Match award. I would have given it to Mancini myself, but now again, what do I know?
Substitution for Leeds United, replacing number 9, Jimmy Floyd Hasselback, is number 19, Derek Lilly.
And Derek Lilly comes into the action. I suppose he is Leeds' other recognised striker. Slightly surprised to find him on the field, to be honest, because he wasn't on our list of substitutes, the official list handed to the press prior to the kick-off. I wondered what had happened to him. So Lilly has an opportunity to score perhaps a late goal for Leeds to save them from defeat. He actually scored a spectacular late winner at Barnsley last season.
Yes, this is a good position for Leeds late on in the game. If they can get an equaliser here, we could have penalties.
It's Gary Kelly with his free kick. Time running out for Leeds United. Molinar. And dispatched there by Gattari.
The Leeds supporters trying to get behind them now to get this equaliser late on in the game. Into a good position again from the corner.
Can Leeds do it? They need a goal and they need one urgently. Hart. That's held by Marcagiani. And Ian Hart, who scored a hatful of goals in Leeds' pre-season tour of Sweden, and able to bring relief to the team in the closing stages here in Dublin.
I think he's done very well, Marcagiani, the Italian keeper. Tonight he's taken crosses well, made some good saves, looked assured.
So it looks like the 3rd and 4th place playoff tomorrow, which you can see here on Channel 5, will be between St Pat's and Leeds United, and the final will be between Lazio and Liverpool. Kelly helps it back to Nigel Martin, and we're just seconds away now from the final whistle as Lilly tries to win the ball. Matthews, still Matthews. Lilly, there's an opening here for Leeds. Gunahala. It's in. Would you believe it? Lee Bowyer on the stroke of full time takes the equalising goal, and surely now we're destined for penalty kicks to decide who will go through, and Leeds celebrate the goal as if it were won in an authentic European competition.
Nice cross from Haller to the far stick. Lilly doing well, actually headed it back, didn't go for goal, knew he couldn't score from there, and Bowyer following in has the simplest of chances just to knock that in the back of the net. Good header back, there's Bowyer, 1-1.
Lilly, who has made an impact on this game. Lilly now finds Gunahala. Lilly. Bowyer the goal scorer. Matthews. And held by Marcagiani. Well, they obviously gave the kiss of death to Lazio by saying they'll be appearing in tomorrow's final against Liverpool, because within seconds they were level.
What's your name? Murray Walker?
Oh, that was a very high tackle indeed by Lucas Radaby. Nedved tussles with Bowyer. Mancini. Radaby back to Nigel Martin. Lilly. Hook clear by Nigel Martin. So many of Leeds United's matches last season, there were late goals for Leeds, which resulted in unlikely draws and unlikely victories, and they've come up with a late goal here in Dublin.
Well, the Leeds fans will be pleased to know that the
Well, they've kept going right up to the end, haven't they? And they deserved it really in the end.
Aquino, whose goal has been cancelled out by that header from Lee Bowyer, but Lazio have a late free kick here. There could be trouble. It's all unnecessarily boiling over because Danny Granville raised his arms there, pushed over Aquino, who claims he was pushed in the face, and this is anything but a pre-season friendly now.
Well, I think the problem is that the Italians like this sort of diving and jumping down there, but Danny Granville's got involved there, and I think he actually pushed his head into the face of the player here, and he's gone down.
Now I wonder if this will cost Leeds United dear, because they have to defend this free kick. 2 minutes into stoppage time at the end of the game. Negro unable to win it. It's come off Molinar, and there is the final whistle. It ends Leeds 1, Lazio 1. We will have the penalty shootout to determine who goes through to the final after the break.
Welcome back to Lansdowne Road. It's 1-1 at the end of full time, and now it's down to penalties, and I bet you thought you'd seen the last of those during the World Cup. Well, taking us through them, Nigel Spackman and Gary Bloom.
Leeds United will take the first penalty, and it's young Stephen McPhail. He'll take the first spot kick against Luca Marchigiani. Remember, this to decide, these penalties to decide who goes through to the final, and Marchigiani saves.
Good save from Marchigiani. Who fell unlucky there, the young lad taking the first penalty.
And he was involved in the shootout when the Republic of Ireland won last week the European Championship against Germany, which went to penalties.
And the first penalty for Lazio being taken by Pavel Nedved.
Pavel Nedved with the first penalty here for Lazio. You can hear what the Leeds fans think about him and his chances. And he's scored it. The Czech Republic, of which he was a part in Euro 96, had one or two penalty shootouts of their own on their way to the final.
Well, Nedved missed the target completely there, leaning back, trying to go for the top corner. Really, in the penalty shootout, you must hit the target.
Ian Hart scored a penalty in a 1-1 draw in Leeds United's pre-season tour of Sweden last week. And he's next to go. 0-0 after two penalties. Hart for Leeds. The rule says it all.
Plenty of confidence there from Hart. He knew what he was going to do. He just drives it hard and low, and the keeper didn't even move for it. The pace beats him completely.
In the last week, Lazio have lost two penalty shootouts against Panathinaikos, when nearly their entire five missed, and Monza. This is Aquino. Oh, that's a great penalty. And Aquino was the player who scored in normal time to give Lazio the lead. No shortage of confidence for this young chap, is there?
I think he's happy with that. Blasted right in the bottom corner, into the side netting there. Nigel Martin, no chance. 2 goals tonight.
Next penalty taker for Leeds United, number 19, Derek Lilly.
Derek Lilly, who had a major hand in the Leeds United equaliser on the stroke of the full-time whistle to draw Leeds level. It's Lilly now against Marchigiani. Oh, super penalty.
That was no messing there. Derek Lilly knew where he was going to put it in the top corner with pace and power. Keeper no chance there.
Lazio's next penalty taker, number 16,
venture in is next. Needs to score this penalty to keep Lazio in the hunt. Venture in against Nigel Martin. Lazio have contrived to miss 2 of their 3 penalties. Lee Bowyer next.
Nigel Martin actually guessed the right way there as well. He might have saved it even if it was on target.
Leeds will be in a very commanding position if this goes in. Scored Leeds equaliser and scores a penalty. It means Lazio have to score their next 2, otherwise Leeds are through to the final.
Yeah, it's a good penalty from Lee Bowyer. Puts it nice and low, lets the keeper dive. That's 2 goals for him as well.
He has to score. He has to score this one, otherwise it's all over. And he does. 3-2 to Leeds on penalties.
Nice penalty, just let the keeper dive and just placed it in the other side of him.
But it means young Lee Matthews can send Leeds through.
Penalty for Leeds United to be taken by number 16, Lee Matthews.
Scored 2 goals for England in the under-18 international tournament in Cyprus. Can he send Leeds through to the final against Liverpool tomorrow in this pre-season tournament here at Lansdowne Road? 1 kick away from victory. And victory it is! Leeds are through, and it's one of their young players, Lee Matthews, who scores the decisive penalties, and it's now a hat-trick of penalty defeats for Lazio in the last week.
What a wonderful penalty that was from Lee Matthews there. Plenty of confidence, comes up, plenty of power to the goalkeeper's left. Keeper no chance.
So tomorrow's 3rd and 4th place playoff will be between St Pat's and Lazio, and it's Leeds United via a penalty shootout who go through to tomorrow's final to meet Liverpool. Quite a dramatic ending, I think you'll agree. Final score 1-1, Leeds win 4-2 on penalties. Now back to Steve Scott.
Thank you, Gary. Lee Matthews, the Leeds hero, and we can go straight down now to hear from the Leeds manager, George Graham.
George, I bet you've had those players practicing penalties all week, haven't you?
No, not really. I think it's a great experience here tonight to play against, as I say, top-class Europeans, and I think the manner in which we played was a highlight for me. Winning with penalties, yes, nice, but I think it was the manner in which we played tonight was very, very encouraging.
Did you deserve it overall, do you think?
Yeah, I think we played quite well. We played with a lot of some of the inexperienced players and some players out of position. But I was just pleased with the performance.
Thanks, George.
That was George Graham. Well, enjoying the tension with me are Gary Mabbott and Mark Wright. Mark, an English club winning a penalty shootout.
I know.
It's a novelty, really.
That's not a novelty. It was great. I think it was justified. I thought Leeds played ever so well second half, and we're lucky to go a goal behind. And I think, you know, to get a goal back and win on penalties was the right decision.
Yes, they were up against it, weren't they, when Lazio went ahead. Seemed a long time ago now, but it was a good goal.
Yeah. 2 defenders got pulled out towards the ball here. There's run behind them, and
that's a lovely ball, isn't it?
Great ball through for him. Lovely finish.
Mark, how would you defend against that then?
What are you asking me for?
Is that a mistake?
I'm not a defender. No, they just got sucked in. They just probably a little bit of ball watching, and like Gary said, they both went towards the ball, and the quality of the Lazio players, they put a great ball through, and he finished it off.
And then we all thought it was over, didn't we? And suddenly Leeds snatched it right at the end.
So did Lazio. Thought it was over, I think. And incredible. Showed great character at this stage.
And that's a great
ball through.
They knew that was the last kick, and there was a beautiful ball floated in, wasn't it?
Yep. Thoroughly deserved it. I thought Lee Bowyer worked his socks off tonight. I thought he was here, there, and everywhere, as was all the Leeds players.
It was a very accomplished performance, wasn't it?
Hard working, very hard working, yeah. And you expect that from a side of George Graham's, yeah.
And then it was down to penalties, and well, Lee Matthews, that was a hell of a kick, the last one, wasn't it?
Great penalty. Yeah, the youngsters all came up to take the penalties, and they came to this stage. No's got this penalty to win the tournament. We'll go through to the final. God, no one was there, was there?
No, great penalty.
He enjoyed that, didn't he? And you know, as a youngster, you've got to praise him for taking it like that, haven't you?
Yeah, you have. I mean, that's youngsters today, isn't it? Aren't they? They're full of confidence. They're full of themselves, and they don't mind making decisions like that to step up and take a penalty.
And Gary, very briefly, Leeds and Liverpool tomorrow. Great, exciting, isn't it?
I mean, the second game tonight was very competitive. Tomorrow going to, they're taking 7 games of Leeds tonight, but what a game in prospect tomorrow.
Okay, well.